Hi everyone. As promised, I just filmed my introductory video in which I said that I would soon post my first real review, and here's the review. So, this is by far my first review that I've ever done on YouTube. If you want to hear about that, go watch the introductory video. But it is my first scent review, so I've never done this. I didn't really rehearse or anything. I wrote up a few notes, which you'll be able to tell that I probably have once I get into the body of the review. But moving on, the first thing I would like to review for you is pretty. You've probably seen several reviews of it already, and this is not usually what I would be reviewing. But this was an acquisition that I got really for a song at Marshall's a few weeks ago. When I was visiting a friend. This is David Beckham's Instinct. It came out in 2005 and is the product of a couple of noses, one of whom is Beatrice Piquet and the other one is Alain Astori. So you have a pretty simple bottle, or excuse me, simple packaging, nothing terribly smart or anything. And here's the bottle. This is one of the ones, I've seen a couple of types of scents that have this, that has a magnetic cap on it. I think that's probably one of the neatest things about the bottle. The scent's not too bad, but as far as the bottle goes, it does sort of remind me of a 1940s or 50s sort of aftershave presentation there. So I have already written up a review of the way the scent smells new on my skin and also as it dries down, but I do want to reapply just to sort of smell as I go along and see. Let's see. Okay, Instinct, it opens with this. Get the alcohol off first. It has this really rich, almost complex, sort of not burnt orange, but roasted orange, toasted orange, not just orange zest or the essence of orange, but something more complex than that. And it might be the spices that are mixing with it. Supported with, I smell some sort of wood, like cedar wood, and underneath all of that is incense. I get incense, some kind of very, very subtle incense. I can definitely recognize cardamom in there, and with maybe some star anise in there as well. There's something in it that's almost reminiscent of that olfactory overload that you get when your nose is presented with a plate of Indian food. It's really the only thing I can compare it to when you first smell it. When you have a curry and say a biryani and a mango lassi to drink and several things and all the smells are mixing together and you can sort of pick them out, but it's tough, and it's tough because there are several smells going on at the same time. Cardamom and anise, I think, are the two most prominent ones, but there's probably several other spices going on in there as well. It's sort of everything has this cumulative accord that's really a lot more complex than I would ever expect from anything that a celebrity would put out. I was kind of surprised because I thought that going into the whole fragrance collecting deal, I would like much more aquatic, sort of mainstream, typical scents. And I quickly discovered that wasn't what I liked. So I bought this thinking that it would be something that you would very much expect for an athlete of, a Manchester United, perhaps the world's most well-known soccer player, to put out, right? Maybe just to make a quick buck. This is actually, I sold him short, I have to say. It smells better than that. It's much more sophisticated than I was expecting. Into the dry down, I'm not going to edit this video, so this hasn't actually had a chance to dry down. But into the dry down, what you get are, the citrus begins to disappear, and the cedar very much, at least on my skin, it comes to the forefront, and it sort of smells 10 minutes after spraying it like opening your grandmother's cedar chest with her old moth-eaten wedding dress and old family photographs. And if I'm not mistaken, there's also a little bit of very subtle herbaceousness too, a sort of a grassy note that maybe a bit like of a freshly mown lawn. And it's not listed in the notes on Fragrantica, but I'm guessing this accord, that sort of fresh grass accord, might be the result of some patchouli sort of mixing with something else. I don't get a lot of complexity as it dries down, but there's certainly a change from freshly sprayed to 15 minutes in. One of the things I get, and it's even kind of there in the very beginning, is it reminds me of an older man's aftershave. I don't want to say Old Spice because I'm sure that's going to, turn off anyone under the age of 50. But I need to rant about that sometimes. There's a lot of ageism in the fragrance community on YouTube. Sort of irritates me, but as if there was something, that men over 50 can't wear certain things or whatever. But an older man's aftershave, sort of dry, somewhat soapy, powdery, citrusy, but full of earth and herbs to still keep it interesting. As far as the price goes, well, actually, before I get into the price, let me tell you, according to Fragrantica, what the notes are for Instinct. Instinct, according to Fragrantica, consists of patchouli, mandarin orange, which is quite prominent, as I was saying, pimento. I'm, up to this point at least, unfamiliar with the smell of pimento. So, unless it comes stuffed in the middle of an olive, and I know that's not what they're talking about. It doesn't smell like much. Star anise, which again you can smell, even my unsophisticated nose can smell it. Vetiver, bergamot, both of which I know what they smell like and are less prominent. White amber and cardamom I can definitely make out. So I was surprised. To my relatively unsophisticated olfactory sense, I could easily make out 3/4 of these notes. Of course, considering that 2.5 ounces can be had at your local Ross or Marshall's. I think I bought it at Marshall's for around $15. It's probably not going to be, the all-around extra versatile, any time of day, any time of year, any type of occasion scent. And it's not. I would say probably, I don't really like to give seasons when to wear something, but according to what most people would probably tell you, summer and fall would work nicely, I think. Considering that top sort of citrus note, but it's also got enough complexity and got enough spiciness to sort of maybe last you into winter, depending on what winter is like in your area. I hate giving age group recommendations, so I will never ever do that. If you're 8 and you love it, wear it. If you're 88 and you love it, wear it. As Lanier Smith says, wear what you love and not what they tell you should like. And Lanier Smith, that's a man who knows what he's talking about. If you haven't checked out his channel, I'm sure he does not need the promotion of someone who has a grand total of 2 videos on his channel. But that man is a sophisticated man. Go watch his videos. He's got a nose like a hawk. I don't know if hawks have good scent capability, but he can probably smell as well as a hawk sees. And just a lovely, urbane, collected, gentlemanly guy. Go check him out. His name is Lanier Smith. Lanier. Anyway, so this is not going to be without problems. The problem for me, I would say, is longevity. I get maybe 4 to 5 hours out of it. The last couple of hours with it being particularly close to my skin. So I have a skin that notoriously drinks up whatever I put on it, so I always have to apply more than what most people would say. I wouldn't hesitate going more than I wouldn't hesitate putting more than say 6, 7, 8 sprays of this, insides of wrists, insides of arms, maybe one around the neck or so. The sillage is not really, really big after a couple of hours, and wears off to maybe within an inch of my skin after 2 or 3 hours. This isn't as many people would call it a beast by any stretch, but it's pleasant, it's warm, it's bright. I found it really refreshing and inviting. And at the price point, 2.5 ounces for $15, it's pretty difficult to criticize it on its price point. So I think I would probably buy this again, I have to say. I've put a very tiny dent in it in about a month, you can see right there. I wear other things much more often, but when we come to the bottom of this, I might think about getting another bottle. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. This is a review of the House of Beckham's Instinct. I'm John, and I'll see you in the next review. Bye, guys.